Carson Wentz. We talked about him a little bit going to Washington, but something came out today where the owner of the Colts was kind of roasting him a little bit, basically saying that we made a bad decision. We should have moved on sooner. It's one of those things where you kind of just live and forget, kind of whatever motions. But it was weird for an owner to come out and kind of roast somebody like that. That was the first I've seen something like that. He was getting talks from veterans saying that he lacked leadership, i.e. Carson, in the locker room, which that's, as a quarterback, leadership is everything. So for him not to have that was, and he goes, the Jacksonville game was the icing on the cake, like just how he carried himself in the locker room. There was no oomph behind it. There was nothing there. And we came out with a video because I was all in on Carson. I was like, look, I think he's going to turn Washington around and give them the ability to win. But this news coming out, I don't know anymore. Right? Because those factors are huge. And I think he hasn't been able to fit in at certain places. And I've been trying to figure out why, because on the outside, I think he has the talent, right? It looks like he should. He should be doing a good job, but he's not getting it done. And part of it could be just the lack of leadership.
Yeah, and look, for a quarterback, there you can have a lot of different things said about you. You could say that maybe he lacks some arm strength, which we've seen some successful quarterbacks. I want to say even some older quarterbacks start to lose a little bit of zip on the ball. You could say that they have bad footwork. You could say that they maybe just process the field a little slow and they don't audible out of certain situations. All of those things you can manage around in a game scenario. Having a quarterback, the head of your team, the person that is supposed to be your rallying cry, that can't get a locker room together or doesn't motivate the players to want to play for him, that's almost career ending for you right there, because that is the position that is the end all be all. That's why it's the highest paid position in the NFL. But that's more of an intangible that you can't really fix. You can get better footwork. You can maybe work on some speed and some 40-yard dash drills. We can work on maybe some different techniques with how you have your footwork to get your arm strength a little bit better. Not being able to lead is not going to bode well for any quarterback in the NFL. It just isn't.
That's something that's learned. It's not taught, for sure.
Right.
So look, I'm still positive. I'm still optimistic on Carson's success in Washington. I hope he does well. I want to see him do well. But I don't know. That was kind of a little heartbreaking to me when I heard that. Now, you said the coach had some good things to say about him. So there's two different sides here, two different stories. But it was, again, the whole point of it was the fact that he came out and was pretty vocal to roast Carson was strange to me.
Sure. Well, look, I mean, the ownership is the one who went out and spent the money, right? They're the ones that went out and got him, brought him in.
They spent the investment.
Right. Now, Frank Reich, the coach of the Colts, did come out and say, hey, look, I think he's still got a shot at having a great career in Washington, but it's not really in a coach's best interest to bash an outgoing player because, look, it's a very transactional league. A lot of these players that are on the Colts now may not be there in 1 or 2 years. And if you feel like your coach is just going to roast you just because you didn't work out with that team, that's not how you're going to win a locker room either. Like now the ownership's a different scenario, right? They're the ones writing the check. But Frank's a coach. Frank Reich is a good coach. And I think he knows after his own playing career how a coach needs to make sure that his players are on the same page and that they all believe in one another. So completely different mindsets, but I can understand both sides of it here.